All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of my Dillard's contract. So I'm going to try to stick to the subject. The subject is how I did the jobs, like the booking process, the entire booking process. So I told you guys already that I built a team. I use that team to do these deliveries. And now I want to show you the process from beginning to end. So all the way from how I decided to do the delivery, what the game plan was, how it ended up going, because it didn't go as planned, how I booked the job. I'm going to show you how I booked the job. I'm going to show you examples of it from beginning to end. Everything that I send the customer, everything that I send the drivers that did the jobs, everything I send the customer after the job is completed, the receipt, all that stuff, the emails, and that's pretty much it. So I want to stick to that. That's all this video is about. I know there's going to be questions. People want to know, how you deal with damage or complaints, and what about the pricing and all that stuff. I know you guys are going to have those questions. I will get to that. So that's going to be on a different video. So this is strictly the booking process. Now, this is how the booking process went. The original plan was, and let me move myself out the way. All right. So this was the original plan. So there were 2 stores, and this was my game plan. I brought these forms to the store and I gave them to the salespeople. It was about 3 of them. And I said, have the customer fill this form out. So originally they wanted me to actually work there. Like they wanted me to be at the store like pretty much all day and just handle delivery requests with customers. I said, absolutely not. I said, if you guys pay me a salary or pay me something, I'll do it. But I can't, I'm not working for free. I'm not going to hang out at the store all day. So I gave them these forms and I said, fill these forms out. They had a copy machine and everything. I said, if you get low, make more copies, but either the seller fill this out or the customer. This is the information I need to book the job. So obviously, customer's information, the email is absolutely 100% required. I will not do a job without an email. I have to email something to somebody. I do that for protection because the email is the best way to track these jobs. If something comes up or any type of complaint or anything, I send the terms of the delivery through email. I send the booking through email so that I have a copy. I can always find it, get to it, and the customer has a copy. So email, if you don't have an email, I can't book a job. Pickup address, obviously, is going to be the store. Which store? The delivery address, that's going to help me with the miles, right? This goes into the pricing. I need to know the mileage. The items delivered. What are we delivering? 3-seater sofa, a recliner, a dining table, whatever. The date, not guaranteed. Okay, I put that in there because the customer can request a date, but we can't guarantee the date that they want. So we try. Most likely, I could probably do the date they want, but it all depends. You want to keep yourself free and not bogged down to certain dates. So I let them know, not guaranteed. And then, do we need to do any installation or assemblies? And any stairs? I want the number of steps, very specific. These are things that goes into the pricing, okay? And then I also offer haul-away service, and I don't typically do furniture haul-aways, but I work with a couple guys that do. So that's why I offer that as well. So that's going to be an extra fee if they want us to take their old sofa or their old dresser or whatever and get rid of it. All right. So I left a whole stack of these forms, and the plan was, let's say it's Monday, right? I go in Monday, I drop the forms off every day, right? Because this location is not far from me. If any customers fill this out, I was going to go in the next day, so Tuesday, and collect all of the requests from Monday, right? That way I can actually look at the furniture. I can see it, I can feel it, I can lift it, I know how heavy it is. That way I can give the customer an accurate price. So let's say I got 3 requests on Monday. I would then, on Tuesday, I would pick those forms up and I would call the customer directly from the store. Hey, I'm at the store right now. I see your stuff. Here's the price. It's either yes or no. If they agree, I'll book the job. If they don't agree, then, get it however you can, right? That was the original plan. I think that would have worked. If I couldn't make it to the store, they could easily just take a picture of this and send it to me, right? So this was the plan. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The salespeople did not fill this form out. I don't know why. It's not hard, but they just would not fill it out. So I'm not going to argue with them or get upset about it. I'm just like, you know what? This ain't working. I got to figure out something else. So long story short, what they ended up doing is just texting me the customer's name and taking photos of the items, right? So they would just text me the customer's name, the customer's phone number, and the photo of each item that they purchased. So then I would call the customer and get all these details, right? So that takes a very long time. So I was really tied up with that. There were days I had 10 requests. There was days I had 20 requests, and between both stores, there were days I had 30, 40 requests. So I'm literally on the phone all day trying to book these jobs. Okay. I would say about 30% of the people that I talked to actually booked me. 30 to 20%. Majority of the customers did not want to pay. I'm not going to talk about that now. I'll talk about that when I talk about pricing because I want to stay on subject. It's already been 7 minutes and I'm on the first form. All right, so that was the plan. It didn't work out. So they ended up texting me. I had to call the customer. Now, this is what my calendar looked like. So this is April. The route, I'm sorry, the route. The contract started in March. It started in March. So this is just April. This is kind of how my calendar looked in March and April and May. So these are confirmed book jobs. And obviously, I'm just one person. I can't handle all these customers. So this is why my team was so important. I literally dished jobs out to them. All right, these are confirmed jobs. There were some last minute jobs that I didn't actually book like this. I just did a receipt, like a hand receipt, but majority of the jobs were booked like this. I wanted it to be booked professionally. So after I call the customer, get all the details, I give them a price, right? Majority of the time, the customer didn't like the price. So there was some negotiating, but I would only negotiate to a certain degree. So there were some customers that didn't want to pay, and I could only go so low. And it's not low like I'm cheating myself. It's just like there's a reason why I was able to compromise on some of the jobs. I had to. I'll explain that on the pricing video. All right. I'll explain why I compromised on a couple of jobs, but some jobs I did not compromise. There were some jobs, if they had stairs or, they had a really heavy credenza or something like that, I can't lower the price. I give them the rock bottom price. And if they don't want to pay, tough. Right. So once they agree to the price, let's say I got a customer, I booked the job. I'm going to show you an example of what I send the driver. So the drivers in my market that I work with, we all use a kind of like a chat program, right? Where we could chat with each other. So I would send them this. This is a job that I'm putting out, and I did a next man up. So majority of the job, let me say this too. The majority of the jobs were in need of a box truck. And the reason why is because a lot of people were buying multiple items. So sofas and furniture. I did not want to double stack anything. This is Dillard's furniture, very expensive, very heavy. I did not want to cause any damage. Typically in a cargo van, you're going to have to stack furniture. I did not want to stack any furniture. Okay. So there's about 3 box truck drivers that I use. The people that have a cargo van would have to be a helper. I wasn't using any cargo van. There were cargo van loads. Like if someone just bought 1 sofa or like 2 pieces of furniture, something like that, long as we don't have to double stack it, the cargo van will get it. But majority of jobs were going to be box trucks. Right. So I would send this out and I did next man up to try to keep it as fair as possible. Right. So I'll put it out. Hey, this job is for, well, I'll show you in a second. Right. So this is what it looks like. This is a job that I put out, and I put if a cargo van or a box truck is needed. It says this is a last minute customer pickup from Dillard's North Star Mall, 1 king adjustable base, 2 pieces with a king mattress, 1 large dresser. And a lot of the dressers, the drawers did come out. So that makes it a little lighter. 1 lamp and 1 painting. Delivered to a single-story house. There's 6 steps to the front door. Looks like a lift gate may possibly be able to back up to the wall next to the mailbox and unload to avoid the steps. So there's stairs, but there's a gate that they can go through the backyard if they don't want to carry it up the stairs. Backyard access with double doors. So the backyard has double doors to make it easier to get everything in there. Check out the photos. And I tell them the route is 14 miles. 14 miles from the store to the customer's house. The driver, I let them know what the pay is. So the driver is getting $235. The helper is getting $90. You're not going to make this on a gig app, okay? This is what you could do with direct bookings. The customers are going to pay this type of money, especially for that type of furniture. Technically, I probably could have charged even more, but I think this is a very fair and reasonable price, especially when we're using a box truck, because, most of the box trucks are diesel. So I do take that in consideration. And then I put any notes from the customer. Customer wants delivery Tuesday or Wednesday, and then this is next man up, right? So it's this person is up next. If they don't want to do it, then it's this person. If they don't want to do it, then this person. All right. So before I get too far into this, I would have to say that there was one driver that literally would do every single job. You guys should know who that is. I'm not going to say it. You guys will probably say it in the comments, but you should know who that person was. And he made a gang of money. I think he made the most money out of everyone. Anyways, that was this. So this is how I send the job out. The person would respond and say, yes, I'll do it. And then I would send them the booking information, which I'll show you in a second. All right. So I also attach photos. So this is very, very detailed. This is something that the gig apps don't do. Like Dolly, you're not going to get this information. So I get all the details so the driver knows everything. They know what they're making. They know how far they're driving. They know what items there are. I even send them photos. So there's photos of the bed, photos of the furniture that they're picking up. And then I even Google the house. I show them what the house looks like, right? So like this house, that's the steps I was talking about. This is the backyard. This is the back door I was talking about they can go through. I even show them on the map how far it is, 18-minute drive, right? And then here's the steps. So this mailbox is kind of in the way, so they might not be able to do it, but I was thinking they could back the box truck to here, put the lift gate right here, and just roll it off if they wanted to. But 6 steps, they can handle that. All right, and this is the walkway to the backyard. So that's a lot of information, a lot of details. There's no room for the driver to not know, or the helper not know what's going on, right? They get all the details. All right, now this is what I send the driver and the helper. I send them the booking information. So I booked this on Setmore. I think I did a video on this already. So Setmore is free. It's 100% free. I don't pay anything. It's very professional booking. That's what you want. And the customers love this. They love the booking process. All right. So my driver gets this, the helper gets this, and the customer gets this. So the date, the time. The time is the delivery window. Okay. So I do it kind of like Dolly does. I don't have an exact time. I don't want to pin a driver down to an exact time. I give them a window. It could be a 2-hour window. It could be a 3-hour window. I make sure the customer knows that. So in this situation, this is a huge window, right? They could deliver anytime between 9 and 2. That is agreed before the booking. So the customer agrees to this. So that way the drivers, if they have other jobs, they have plenty of time to do these jobs and deliver it on time. All right. So again, this is what I send the driver and the helper, and the customer gets this as well. So they have the customer's name, they have the email, they got the phone number if they need to call the customer, the address, and then this is the pickup address, which store they're going to. All right. When I book the job, it's booked under my business name. When I send this job to a driver in my market, that's their customer. Okay. It's not my customer anymore. It's their customer. They have to take care of them as if it's their booking. Okay. That was a little issue, and I'll get to that in a different video, but unfortunately there were things that happened. Everything didn't go perfect. So I'll just leave it at that for now. So anyways, once I send them this information, that's their customer. It's their responsibility to communicate with the customer that day, the day before, whenever they want to. Let them know, hey, I'm on my way to the store to pick up your stuff. Hey, I'll be there between this time and this time. You know, if they're running late, call them, let them know, hey, I'm running late. That's their responsibility. All right. This is the notes that I send the driver, so they know how much they're getting paid. So this is a different job, but this is an example. This is a driver that is delivering a 3-seater sofa and a single seat chair. Okay, this is the pay for the driver, and this is the pay for the helper. Okay, so $160 total that the customer is going to pay. I have the customer pay each person separately. That is agreed prior to the booking. So the driver gets $110, the helper charges $50. That's what they charge the customer. They don't pay one person $160 and split it. That is for tax purposes. So they're all independent contractors, and the customers agreed to pay them separately. All right. So this is what I send the store. So after I book jobs for, like, I have 4 customers on this day, I send this to the store. I text it to the salespeople, and I let them know who's coming. I say, hey, such and such is coming to pick up for this customer, and everything. They have a breakdown of all that. So there should be no confusion. Again, that didn't go perfect, but I did that. There was no excuse. They should have known, right? So this is the delivery time. These are the windows of delivery. This is the delivery windows. Okay, so the earliest you could pick up is 11 a.m. A lot of times, some of the drivers will pick up the day before, which was smart. That way you could deliver earlier. All right. But if you go the day of, you have to pick up at 11 o'clock. All right. Now, this is an example of this video right here. On this video, I delivered to a $5 million house. That customer, me and my wife did this job. So this is the entire booking process. I'm going to fly through this. All right. So this is Setmore, and this is how I booked the job. This is the information that I plug in that's going to generate what you just saw here. It's going to generate this right here, this booking. That's what I emailed to the customer. All right. So I put the price so the customer knows how much they owe. I put the estimated time it may take. This is from the pickup to the drop off, beginning to end. On this situation, I had to go to 2 stores. Okay. It's not a long distance, not a long drive. So, and you guys saw in that video, I mean, it was hardly nothing. Very light stuff. So I could have charged probably up to 250, but I didn't need to. 180, I think, was a very fair price for that customer. And based on the items that I was picking up, nothing heavy, no heavy sofas, anything like that. So I take that into consideration when I'm doing the pricing. 180 was a great price for this. This is the delivery window. This is based on what the customer asked, and I was able to do it. This is a Saturday delivery, so I'm pretty open on Saturdays. The customer's information, and then this is the notes that the customer gets this as well as myself when I book the job. So I put that I'm picking up from 2 malls, 2 Dillard stores, and the items from each store. So North Star, I'm picking up these items, and then Rolling Oaks, the other mall, I'm picking up these items. Okay. And I put who the driver is and who the helper is. A lot of customers complimented me on that. They like that I put the name of the driver and the name of the helper. They did like that. All right. Now, this is the terms of delivery. So I created this by myself, no help at all. This is what I felt was important. And this is what I sent every single customer. It was a cut and paste. The only thing I changed was the items, the store and the items. So terms of delivery, furniture delivery from dealers to residents. This is a third-party delivery service, Lightning Fast Carriers. That's the name of our group, made up of independent contractors. Delivery is for these items, I'm not going to name them all. It's actually 13. I changed it. And delivery providers will deliver in the home and or area designated by the customer. All fees are included in the price. So stairs, mileage, assembly, helper fee, all that stuff is included in the price. All items will be delivered in as-is condition. So we're picking it up as is, we're delivering it as is, and all of the drivers are supposed to take a photo. Okay. I just have to scoot myself over. All of the drivers are supposed to take a photo of the products. Take a photo of it. If they see any damage, take a photo of it so we're covered, right? But we're picking it up as is. All items are wrapped prior to pickup by the dealer store. I make sure the customer knows that we're not wrapping it. The store is. And I'll explain on the pricing, I'll explain why that is, why we didn't wrap the items. We let them wrap it. Photos will be taken at the pickup and the drop-off location. So we're letting them know we're going to take a photo of it at the pickup and the drop-off. Customer assumes all risk and liability. Any dents, scratches, missing parts, etc., must be noted by the customer prior to pickup for documentation. So if there's a pre-existing scratch on the table, the customer needs to let us know, like prior to us picking it up. They need to say, "Hey, there's a scratch on there on the top of the table," so we can document that. Other than that, I mean, if we pick it up and it's got a scratch on it, we didn't do it. Delivery contractors cannot guarantee the functioning or assembly of items. I felt that was important to put that. We can't guarantee really anything, but we can't guarantee that the electric sofa that you bought is going to work. We're not testing it. We're just picking it up and delivering it. So we plug it in. It doesn't work. That's not our fault. Or if we have to assemble something. Customers agree to be available between the delivery time windows. That's very important. If I say we're delivering between 12 and 2, you're agreeing to be at home and ready between 12 and 2. Not, I'm on my way home. Make a clear path inside the residence. That's very important. A lot of this furniture is very big, and some people, house is cluttered, and there's no room. Make room for us before we get there. Keep small children away. I actually got that from my old job with Sleep Number. That was part of their terms, but I threw that in there because people will let their kids be all up in the way, and we don't want them to get hurt. And put away and or leash pets for contractor safety. That's another important thing. People let their dogs loose in the house. I don't like that. I'm not afraid of dogs, but I just feel safer if they put the dog up. Put it in the kennel, put it in the backyard, put it on a leash. Don't let it roam, because if it bites one of the contractors, or, contractor don't see the little poodle and trip over it and fall or step on it, whatever, like, just put the dog up. I mean, to me, that's common sense, but I had to put that in there. Payment is due upon completion of the delivery, so the driver and helper are to be paid right away at the location. Don't leave until you get paid. Customer agrees to pay each contractor individually. So that's the part I was talking about. They agreed to pay them individually. Accepted payments. So these are payments that pretty much everyone has. We can accept pretty much anything. Credit card and debit card, we use Square. So I made sure that everyone signed up for Square so they can accept debit and credit. I did put that small processing fee may apply. So some people will include the $3 fee or whatever they charge in the price. So that's the fee. So if the charge is 110, they might charge 113 for a processing fee. We ask that you inspect the products. This is very important. Inspect the products and please sign the satisfactory release of liability form at the completion of the delivery. Customers will receive an emailed receipt within 24 hours after payment is received. Thank you for allowing us to serve you. Please reach out if you have any questions or concerns. So I created a release of liability form. I made sure that the customer signed that. That's very important. Customers sign that form. They look over the furniture. They say, yep, everything looks good. They sign it. We're good to go. So that way, 2 weeks later, the leg is broke or this. No, you signed the form. You inspected it. We ain't dealing with that. So that's very important. So this is the email that I send the customer, and I also send the photo. So these photos are the photos that I asked the customer when they're at the store. Say, hey, take a picture. So these are the photos that the customer took. And I attached the photos like, hey, these are the items we're picking up. All right. Now, once we complete the delivery on that job that I showed you guys in that video, when we complete the delivery, the customer pays me. I send them a receipt. Okay. I send them a receipt, and I use a receipt maker. That's what it's called. Receipt maker. It costs about $20 a year. It's not expensive. It's a very professional way to send the customer a receipt. Okay. You need to send a receipt. It generates a receipt number. It documents the date, and you can put your company information, and you put the person's name, and payment mode, customer pay in full, including a tip, driver, myself, and the helper was my wife. So I'll put the driver's name and the helper's name. And then the notes, picked up from Dillard's, Rolling Oaks, and North Star Mall, delivered inside the customer's residence. Thank you for your business and payment. And then I put what the items were. Okay. So from each store. Put the total amount that they paid right here, and I put paid in full. Okay. And then I sign it. So I'm acknowledging that the customer paid me. I received the money. So there's no issues or complaints, or I can't come back and say, hey, they never paid me. This is their proof. You need to give this to the customer. You just need to give it to the customer. You got to do receipts. All right. Now, after I send them a receipt, so part of the receipt is an email. Okay. This is how I send them a receipt. I send them an email. This is why the email is so important. So this is proof of delivery and payment. This email serves as proof of delivery and payment. Please see attached receipt and photos. Thank you for your business and payment. Right. So I send them photos of the delivery. Right. I'm showing this is proof that I delivered the item. So they can't say something's missing or I didn't deliver it. It's documented by email. Email is the best because I get a copy and I never lose it. They get a copy. Okay. So any lawsuit or issue, complaint, I can go back. Hey, I sent them the terms of the delivery. They agreed to it. I delivered it. I sent them a receipt. So this is the receipt right here that's attached right here, the PDF form. And then these are the photos that I send them. All right. So this video is getting a little longer than I expected. I just got a few more things to show you real quick. But this is the process from beginning to end, from talking to the customer all the way to completing the job. This is what I'm sending the customer. All right, guys, let me finish this up. Man, this clock goes by so fast. It's already over 30 minutes. It's crazy. So this is the form I was talking about. This is a release of liability form. I got this online. So I literally found a release liability form online and I customized it to the type of work that I do. So the verbiage is pretty much the same. I just changed a few things to make it kind of match what I'm doing. So this is certified like through Texas. This is a confirmed or actual Texas liability form. All right. So I put the date. I put what we're doing. It's a Dillard furniture delivery and it's an in-home delivery and as is condition. You could write whatever you want in the notes. Everyone kind of wrote different stuff, but the main thing is the customer is releasing you from liability of this delivery process, basically. I put the payment and the customer signs it. And like I said, I send them a copy by email and then I sign it as well, or the driver will sign it and date it. This is just saying that, the customer is good with the delivery, no complaints, releasing us from liability. That's very, very important. There are risks. There are a lot of risks with these. And I'm not going to go into detail about this, but they're buying it as is and there's no return. There's no return, no exchange. Once they buy it, that's it. So if they complain about a tear or any type of damage, dealers are going to say, sorry, can't help you. They're not going to help them at all. So it's a lot of risk with these deliveries. So you got to protect yourself. All right. So that's pretty much it. This is me just kind of checking out the store once we're done. We finished the deliveries. This went by so fast. I think it was a total of, I want to say 3 months. It was 3 months. Oh, 2.5 months. It was 2.5 months. It started in March, April, May. It ended in May. That's amazing. You guys saw the video of all the furniture in there, and it's all gone. It's crazy how we were able to accomplish that. So we did a lot of the delivery. We probably delivered about 40%. The other 60%, the customers either hired someone else, or majority of the customers picked it up themselves. Majority of the customers either rented a U-Haul, or they had like one guy his son had a pickup truck. A lot of people picked up their own stuff. The reason was, one, they're cheap. But the most common reason was they're getting 50% off, 60% off, 70% off. And so when they're paying that little, for these items, one thing they didn't understand is that the delivery price doesn't change. Just because you got a discount on the item doesn't mean you get a discount on the delivery. So that wasn't clicking. It wasn't registering with a lot of customers. So that's why a lot of customers walked away. I didn't mind because, like I said, majority of the customers were willing to pay. They understood why the prices were what they were. But I wasn't going to discount 50, 60% on the delivery price. It doesn't work like that. So that was the main issue. They wanted to buy a $5,000 piece of furniture and got it for $2,500, right? They spent $2,500 on the furniture, but then they don't want to pay $200 to get it delivered. And we're talking about like some heavy stuff, like heavy dressers, credenzas, electric sofas, all that stuff. And this, I have to pay the driver and the helper. And a lot of times we got to go upstairs, either at the front door or in that residence, all that stuff. Like, how do you pay $2,500 and you can't pay $150 for the delivery? They want to pay like $80. Absolutely not. So a lot of customers, I lost a lot of customers. And like I said, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm trying to save that for the other video when it comes to pricing, but I'm just giving you an idea. That's what I was dealing with. So anyways, this is amazing, man. We cleared this store out. We did so many deliveries, and it was just like 5 of us. 5 of us. We killed it. And a lot of the guys, they were getting a lot of their work from this. Didn't even need the gig apps. And they're making, 100, 110, 120, 150, even $200 on some jobs. This was a great experience though. So anyways, look at this, man, clear it out. So anyways, I don't want to be too long. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to explain the booking process. That's what I do. Was it perfect? No, absolutely not. I learned a lot. There's so many things. If I could do this all over again, I would do very different. So that's the whole reason for it. Don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid of challenges like this. To someone else, someone's going to get this opportunity. Somebody watching this video is going to get the same opportunity I got. The whole purpose of me doing this video is to share my experience. So this is just part 2. And I'm sorry the video is very long, but part 3, I'm going to get into even more details of this experience. I learned so much. So don't be afraid of these challenges. Don't be afraid to learn. Learning is the best. Me going headfirst into this, we accomplished the mission. That's most important. It wasn't perfect. There was a lot of ups and downs. My van broke down right toward the end of it, but we got it done. I had a plan and it worked. The plan works. And I'm going to tell you, my very last video, I'm going to tell you what I would do differently because I learned a lot. So anyways, that's it, man. I talked enough. Hope y'all enjoyed. Is that the end of this video? Let me see. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it on this one. So, man, we cleared that store out, man. We cleared it out. That's crazy. So anyways, that's it. Hope y'all enjoyed and stand by for part 3. Got so much more to share with y'all. All right, have a good one. Catch y'all on the next one.